Hello, giant monster fans! And this is the monster profile of the mutated wolf, Ralph.
Oh, you didn't know about the 30-foot wolf? Weirdos on the internet calling him Ralph.
Ralph originally started out as a regular gray wolf, which stood around 38 to 41 inches tall and weighed around 150 pounds. After 20 hours of being exposed to the effects of the mutagen that was ruptured from its canister, he grew to 12 feet tall with the length of 13 feet. Now weighing 10,000 pounds when he assaulted the Special Forces unit that was dispatched to kill him. Later, Ralph would gain another growth spurt when he reaches South Dakota and attacks a tour bus in the area, growing again to 16 feet tall and 18 feet long, weighing 20,000 pounds. He would remain this size following his chase to Chicago with George tagging along with him. Ralph reached his final height at 45 feet tall and 40 feet long, weighing a whopping 40,000 pounds when he enters downtown Chicago with George. It is unknown if he would have continued to grow had he not been stopped. Now to tell Ralph's story. Warning, there are spoilers ahead, so you don't want to be spoiled, skip to here. Nobody likes a spoiler, man. Just saying. Ralph was just a regular gray wolf who had a large pack in the Wyoming wilderness area. After the destruction of the Energy and Space Station that was doing genetic engineering research on animals, 3 mutagen canisters fall from space and into North America, with one of them unfortunately crashing into their home, startling the wolf pack. One brave wolf approaches the crash site to investigate what had intruded upon their territory. And after he pokes a canister with his nose, a green, seeping mist enters his nostrils, with the wolf whining in pain from the breathing in the gas of the pathogen. In the next couple hours, Claire Wyden, the head of Energene, a billion-dollar biotech company that designed the Cas9 CRISPR mutagen, locates her missing research in Wyoming and dispatches her Black Hill private security team to retrieve the canister from its crash site. Upon their arrival, they witness a horrifying sight: countless mangled wolf corpses in the surrounding area of the crash site's impact. Claire concludes that one of the wolves had been exposed to the mutagen and had promptly killed its entire pack after the mutagen began to take effect and it ran off in a panic. The Special Forces unit take back to the air to locate the wolf and bring its dead carcass back to Chicago to retrieve the mutagen from its body. They spot Ralph running through the Wyoming woods and shoot him down, seemingly dealing a lethal blow. Upon landing there is no sight of the injured wolf, so they tread deeper into the woods with their guns loaded. After a pack of fleeing deer take them by surprise, Ralph ambushes one of the soldiers and kills them. The others unload onto Ralph, having the upper hand and revealing his gliding capabilities for the first time. A gift from the mutagen. Ralph, in a violent rage, takes down their helicopter and sneaks up behind the security team's leader and rips him to shreds. Ralph later begins to travel to South Dakota, catching deer and other large wildlife feasting upon them along the way to satisfy his extreme hunger and metabolism, another effect of the mutagen. Desperate to get her research back, Claire unleashes her secret weapon, a high-frequency noise that emits from on top of the radio tower, designed to attract the mutated animals where they will be lured to Chicago and killed by the military. We later see Ralph tear apart a tour bus and he begins eating the trapped people inside, until the noise reaches his ears and he begins his rush to Chicago, later meeting up with George, who is also following the same noise. Little do they know the army is waiting for them right outside Chicago, but despite their best efforts, their firepower has no effect on him, and they are outmatched by George and Ralph. Ralph and George are now much larger and are rampaging through Chicago, with Ralph unveiling another one of his deadly attacks: sharp quills which can eject from a flick of his tail, which he uses to take down a helicopter. Ralph and George are then joined by the third mutant, Lizzie, and begin crawling on top of the Energene skyscraper, heading for the source of the frequency on the roof. After reaching the top, George and Ralph begin shredding the device until the building falls over due to Lizzie's massive weight as she tries to reach the rooftop. After the device is destroyed, Ralph emerges from the wreckage along with Lizzie and begins to assault the now cured George, pouncing on top of him and trying to rip his neck out with his sharp jaws. Davis shoots at the wolf to get his attention and Ralph glides after him. This, however, would be a fatal move, as this was a trick to get Ralph to crash into Lizzie, who uses her large jaws to catch Ralph by the neck. Crying in pain from the large crocodile's jaws, Ralph is then killed after Lizzie snaps his neck and devours his head, leaving his lifeless body in the rubble. A quick death to a tragic beast. Conceptual artist Matt Millard, who designed Ralph, explained that many of Ralph's attributes come from the winged squirrel, the cheetah, and bat DNA, as evidenced with his large curved ears, which allow him to have extremely acute hearing. As you can see, Matt loves this wolf boy.
This is my boy right here, Ralph. As you can see, Walmart line of toys. Being 30 years old, I never knew that I'd be able to walk into a store and see something I designed, especially a monster on.
The gray wolf could run up to 31 to 37 miles per hour and could hear as far as 6 miles away in terrain such as the forest and up to 10 miles in the open. Now imagine that, but quadrupled after his mutation. I wouldn't be surprised if Ralph was the most aggravated out of the three when the Energene frequency was emitted. Although we saw George the most throughout the film and watched him suffer in confusion and frustration from what was happening to his body, out of the three, I felt Ralph had the most tragic. He lost his whole family after his aggressiveness started to kick in from the mutagen's effects. He was also more than likely the alpha wolf of his pack. And not to make things more depressing, but there very well could have been pups that were murdered by his uncontrollable rage. Such a sad monster, man. Ugh. Well, that's it for today's Monster Profile. I'll see you next time. Hoomer Doodle out!